Welcome workouters. What is hot core? We're going to be doing cardio, 15 minutes of cardio, followed by about 10 minutes of core work. But first things first, we're going to start with a nice warm-up. So get into your wide squat position, warming up slowly the spine and our legs. Plant the hands on the inside of your knees. Bring the elbows out. It almost look like a footballer position. Very nice. Then twist your inner shoulder in, your outer shoulder up. Look over your shoulder, come back to center. If you want to bring the breath in, exhale when you rotate. Inhale when you come back to center to this footballer position. And turn your head slightly so we get the spine warmed up all the way. And here we go. Come back into standing or come up into standing. First time, bring the feet parallel. We're greasing our hip socket with these hurdle steps. So imagine you're having a hurdle left and right standing next to you, and now we're lifting one leg over one hurdle to the right, then lifting the leg over the hurdle on your left. And the hurdle is kind of high, maybe even knee height, so you do want to lift the knees all the way up. Knees at least hip height, if you can, even more. Big range of motion here, opening the hip to the side, opening the leg to the side, outward rotation, and try not to shift the hips too much to the side. They can a bit, but since your foot is pointing forward, I don't want you to shift the hips too much. All right, getting the heart rate up and running with lateral lunges, with grabbing the floor with the inside hand. So step out into a lateral lunge, outer leg is bending, inner leg is straight. This is especially difficult to get the inner leg really straight. Try this, inner leg straight, inner leg straight, straight. Great, and now bend the outer leg as much as possible. The inner leg is straight, inner leg is straight. The outer foot is pointing somewhat outwards in direction of the knee. So knee and foot always in the same line. Now get the upper body down to warm up the back, the glutes, the hamstrings, which we're gonna need for the hot core. So hot first, and then core workout. But first, stretch. All right, fold forward into forward fold. Bring the heels down, bend the knees around yourself. Stretch those knees, then lift onto the balls of your feet and release back down onto the heels. Before you bend the knees, always bring the heels back onto the ground. I don't want you to bend on the tippy toes. However, if you feel like it, you can do it. Have those hands on the ground though, at least the fingertips, so that you don't fall and stay in balance. When you fold forward, pay attention to your head so you don't watch the ground. You're basically watching your knees so that the head can really hang and your neck is relaxed in this position. Otherwise, we overextend the neck. All right, here we come. We have done far too little of these diagonal planks, so I'm including them a lot more. Here we go. Start into plank, then grab with the right hand something of your left side and come back forward into plank. And if you're familiar with the V to planks that I'm doing, where we're rolling forward back into plank, try to do that in this diagonal V to plank. It's a lot harder though to balance on one hand and to roll forward and then stop into plank position. If this rolling doesn't work, don't worry. When you're pushing back, start from your hips. Start with the sitting bones leading backwards, and then rounding, crunching forward, landing in plank. With both hands on the floor. Very nice. Here we go with the hot part. Hot cardio coming up. Butt kicks. So get those knees up. Get those heels up. Knees coming later. But first of all, butt kicks. Heels to your hips. Jumping from one leg to the other. And this is a run, which means I do want you to bring those arms in. I'm fanning out my fingers here, which is very nice, so to engage the forearms. But swing those elbows back and forward along with the knees, along with your legs. Get as much airtime here as possible and get as quick as you can, because this is for your hamstrings. We are working the hamstrings here and the whole backside of the leg. Great. Next one up. This is a beginner. I chose the beginner here because we're going to be doing a lot of drills. So switch lunges, but not the jumping version. If you're familiar with it and you feel like it, you can do it. But the beginner version where we're squatting every time and then switching into the lunge back right, squat in the middle, lunge back left, squat in the middle, lunge back right. The arms here are alternating between parallel arms in the squat and alternating arms when we are in the runner position. So arms front, parallel in the squat, and then runner's arms when you are in the lunge position. If you feel like it, you can jump, but you don't have to. There's a lot of cardio and jumping coming up here, so don't you worry of not getting enough. You will get enough. Here we come, high knees. And this is amazing also for the core. So come on, let's go. Get those knees up. If you have a mirror, which would be great. If you're outdoors though, you don't. But if you're in a gym or at home and you have a mirror, try to look at the knee height so they come up hip height or even higher. And to make it a little bit less boring, if you could say so, you can run forward and backwards or sideways. But keep running, bring the arms in, runner's arms here, swinging back and forward. Turning the shoulder will engage your oblique muscles, the sexy ones on the sides that define the outer edges of your six-pack. Well done. All right, more jumping coming up. So there is 15 minutes of cardio. Pause if you need to. If not, let's go. Swing those arms, parallel arms, and I want you to go from sitting to flying in no time. When you're squatting, feet are parallel, toes pointing outward slightly. Same with your knees. Knees are pointing direction of your second and third toe. And when you're flexing, when you're bending, I would like your knees to have 90 degrees and I would like your hip to have 70. So a lot less, bending forward slightly. Then lift those arms up, swing and jump. Yes. Well done. Here we come. We're doing the advanced version with the tuck jump, but you don't have to do the advanced version if you don't want to. That would be just standing up from squat into standing. So roll back, push back with the hands, then come into low squat, tuck jump if you want to, or simply standing up and coming back down. The key here is to get the momentum starting from the push back with the hands off the floor to be as round and small as possible. So you're getting a nice little roll there on the floor, which actually starts giving you the momentum. And next secret is the legs. The legs, you can kick them out a little bit and then bend them, swing them underneath your hips as quickly as possible. There's a lot of mechanics involved here. Some people simply can't get their feet onto the ground. If that's the case, don't worry. Help with your hands. Yeehaw! So here we go. 3-step sideways drill. Advanced version, which means you bring the knee really high in the middle. Again, high knee in the middle, so the knee goes hip height. And we're stepping or more jumping out into this lateral step out. That's a step out, step out, step out, step out. And at the same time you're stepping out, the inner knee comes up. So you're doing like a dribble, for soccer dribble this time, soccer dribble to the sides. And this is great to training hip stability, lateral glute muscles, For running, hip stability is very important, and this is how we build it. You're doing a great job, so we can do some more. About 7 more minutes of cardio. Pogo jumps this time, feet more or less parallel, close together, so your feet acting as one part of your body. Then jump off the floor and press back down with the balls of your feet as if you would want to drum the floor with the balls of your feet. If you want to do a little bit of ankle action here, you can flex the feet up in the air every time. Now the challenge here is the arm movement. You can either do this locomotion movement, or what I also find great is swinging forth and back. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Every time you jump, you switch. So you get the forward and the backward momentum with the arms. Here we go. Drop out, advanced drill. That means we're touching the ground with the hand. If you don't want to touch the ground for whatever reason, you don't need to. You can just do as if and do some pretending here. So when we're dropping out, we're in a wide squat and we're trying to keep up the wide squat. So the knees are always pointing out as wide as possible. If they are sagging in or turning in or falling in, then you're probably jumping a little bit too wide. Then you can jump a little bit closer. It's not an adductor stretch or anything. It's merely just working the inner part, the medial part of our hamstrings. Having a little bit of airtime here. Wonderful. Well done, everyone. So, second part here of the switch lunges. We've done the beginner bit. You can keep the beginner bit if you want to. If you feel like it, do the advanced version, which is not stepping back into the squat, but switching the legs underneath your body. Imagine someone would just see your upper body. The challenge is they should not see what you're doing. Well, it's a little bit impossible because we have to go up a little bit to get those switches underneath our body, but try to stay as low as possible with the upper body. So no jumping upwards, just creating the little bit of lift that you need to switch those legs under your body. Switch, switch. Arms are doing the same. Very explosive movement with the arms here. Well done. Want to do some more? Yeah. Get a sip of water if you need to, pause the video. If not, or if you're back, lateral lunges, also in the advanced version, which is we're going to touch the floor. Don't know why the advanced is always touching the ground, but we're having a little bit of more flexion here in the hips, which allows us to get more extension in the whole back line, which allows us to create more strength in the whole back line, which is our support line, the whole back line. So stepping out into lateral lunge, knee and foot are pointing outwards, upper body is bending forward, inner hand touching the floor, outer leg is straight. Great job. Well done. Here we go. Feet fire. Advanced drill. That simply means we're having a high tempo. So there's no laziness here, no walking around just lifting the knees a little bit with a low tempo. No, I would like you to have a high tempo, as high as possible. And this means you cannot pick the knees up that much because otherwise you're losing speed. So be as quick as you can and get the arm movement equally fast in. So the arms move as fast as the legs are moving. You want to stay on the ball of your foot. Don't touch the ground with the heels. No shock waves running through your body, especially your spine. So be very quick here. Looks a little bit like pedaling on a very small bike. Great! Another adventure after our rollbacks. Here we have the kneeling to tuck jump. I'm doing the advanced version here with the tuck jump, but you don't need to do it. You can either step forward, left, right, and then go back into kneeling, or you can simply jump into the low squat and then go back down into kneeling. Only if you're feeling like it, add a little tuck jump from the low squat. So there's two movements here. One is jumping from kneeling into the low squat. The other is jumping from the low squat in the tuck jump. So if you can tuck jump, don't worry. Just add the tuck jump at the end of the low squat. And I like to challenge myself in making this movement as fluid as possible, which means from the tuck jump, getting straight back into kneeling and getting back up again. Yes! Here comes the kickbacks. Have a break if you need to, take a sip of water. If not, get into your crab position, fingers pointing to your feet, and then shoot those legs up one by one, jumping from one leg to the other. And the secret is the hips. The hips give you the momentum that you need because the hips are going up and down, working again on the whole back line, creating our support and stability. Keep the elbows bent a little, open the shoulders wide, bring the shoulders away from the ears and keep kicking those legs back. Flexing the foot that's in the air. Remember, hips are going up and down, up and down, up and down. When you're landing, the hips are down. When you're jumping up, bring those hips up. This will create the momentum that you need. Practice this. This is so much fun. Yeehaw! And here we go. Core workout is starting. So this is the core part of the hot core part. Start in plank position, pull the navel in, and now bring the knee or the whole foot extending and kicking to the side. So you're bending the upper body to one side and your foot that stays on the ground is pivoting onto the inside of the foot, on the inner arches. Try that. Rotate the whole foot that's on the ground onto the inner arch. Now bring the knee or the whole leg to the side and kick out. If you don't quite do the kicks, don't worry, just do the knee and the kick will come. It will come, don't worry. Stay in plank position, relax the shoulders for 5 seconds if you need to. And here we go, around the world. Suck the navel in. Most important here is the stability in the core. Then extend the right arm, extend the left arm, extend the right leg, extend the left leg. Then start with the left arm, extend the left arm, extend the right arm, extend the left leg, extend the right leg. I don't mind what order you're doing. Just make it around the world. You can do it clockwise, counterclockwise. Change order. Start with the legs, start with the arms. Most important, suck the belly in, lift through the core, and get those shoulders dropping and pull the shoulder blades to your spine. Here we do some hopping. The ski hops, as the advanced drill, is with the hops. If you don't want to do the hopping, you can do stepping. That would be outer foot first, inner foot follows. Outer foot first, inner foot follows. Or if you do the jumping, jump to the sides of your hands. Now the hips are going up and down and your head wants to go down when you're forward. It's a bit like a forward fold, simply with a bit of a twist. Forward fold with a bit of a twist. Jump back and forward. Keep the knees bent to get that elasticity from the ankles, the knees and the hips. And remember to drop the head every time you jump forward. Drop the head every time you jump forward. Don't look forward, look to your hands and knees. Yes. A little bit of relaxation for your wrists and hands. So get up into chop rotation. Here we do a little bit of a choreography with our feet, because I do want both feet to be pointing in the same direction and the knees of course as well. Now the outer leg is starting and the inner leg is following. So this is switch, 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 switch with the knees and the feet. And then the upper body follows, doing a full rotation 180 degrees or a little bit more if you can. going from one side to the other, but make sure that the hips go first and with it the feet and the knees. So feet and hips, upper body, feet and hips, upper body, feet and hips, upper body, feet and hips, upper body. There's a little bit of latency here. Well done. This made you recover a bit, I hope. So we can go back into plank position for plank jacks. No jumping jacks, but plank jacks. Jump out and in with the feet, being very light and elastic with the feet. You can jump out as much as you want, as much as you feel like. Simply make it back together at some point. Now for the plank, create lift from the middle so that the hips do not sag that much. Rather bend the knees than sagging from the hips, and create shoulder stability by pulling the shoulders away from the ears and the shoulder blades towards each other. It's not too hard, is it? You could do that forever, I guess. Well, not forever maybe, but 3 more seconds. Well done! A bit more core. Jumping climbers as the advanced drill, or stepping climbers, just stepping forward and backwards if you don't feel like jumping here, but it's not as hard because we're using a lot of elasticity here. So come from plank position into forward fold, jump forward and backwards. And again, we need to relax the head, otherwise we create way too much contraction here in the neck. So head goes down when jumping forward, and again parallel to the floor when you're jumping backwards. This is a great full body workout, a little bit like only the jumping bit from the burpee. A burpee will seem extremely easy to you because we're having the break in between where you're standing up, except if you're doing a jump or tuck jump. Well done! Now I have 2 more exercises for you, and they're rather simple. Just 2 kind of planks. One simply holding in the plank, fairly easy just to really get the core working. So plant those hands underneath your shoulders. The middle fingers are parallel, so pointing towards the head. Bring those shoulder blades together, pulling toward the spine. Elongate your neck, keep the neck and head in line with the spine. Now pull the navel in and lift through the quadriceps. Make sure that your hips are about shoulder height and you're not sagging. A little bit of an arch in the lower back here. Press back through the feet. Stability. Plank is stability. And then lower down onto the elbows into that Sphinx position. We're doing plank sauce. Not sauce like Bolognese sauce, but like saw. We're having the forearms parallel, palms on the ground. Last exercise, and then we're gonna do stretching, I promise. And you're shifting your whole weight forward, pushing forward through the crown of the head, and then pushing back into your heels. Staying really stable here in the core, almost not shifting the hips up or down. This is also great shoulder workout, especially when we're pushing forward. We're pushing back from those deltoids here, creating nice tank top arms, looking good for the summer all over. And I promised, and I keep my promise, here we go for stretching. So that was the hot core, and now we're going to cool the core back down again. So come up standing. And we're starting with the right side. Grab your right hand with your left hand, pull over to the left, come into a C shape with your whole body. If you feel like it, keep standing on your left leg and cross the right leg back, just having it very easy on the floor. You want to be a bit more dynamic. If you feel like it still, you can inhale, come back up. And then exhale, lower back down into the side stretch. But you don't have to. If you just feel like hanging in there, you can do it. And release the other side. You want to grab your left hand with the right hand. And now we're leaning over to the right side. Bring the head into that nice little side opening stretch. So we're opening the whole left side from the ear to the heel. Left ear to left heel. So the left heel, if you want to, can cross over. You keep standing on your right leg. Right leg is your stability leg. Left leg is stretching away, pushing into the heel, pushing the ear away from the heel. Want a bit more dynamic stretch. Inhale, come up. And exhale, stretch over. Release. Chest open up. We did a lot of plank positions, so it's important we open that chest back up. Grab the hands, interlace the fingers behind your sacrum, your hips, and then lift up. Open the chest, make sure that your head is lifted and you're gazing towards the horizon. So imagine you're having a little crown on your head that you want to show to everyone, because you're the king or the queen, or emperor or empress, or whatever. If you want a more dynamic stretch, lift the arms up and release back down without sagging forward from the shoulders. Lift up and release back down. Once more, lift up, inhale and release. Want to forward fold, releasing the whole back line. We've done a lot of hamstring work, so be easy on this. Just get into a gentle forward fold. Try to focus a little bit more on the upper body than on the legs, because those hamstrings are going to be really, really tight since we've worked them a lot. So just release the upper body forward. Try to lift those sitting bones a little bit, bend from the hips, and then release your head. You want to gaze towards your knees, not towards the floor. Gaze to the knees so that your head really hangs. And release those arms, release those shoulders. This is a great stretch to wind down, to calm the nervous system. And last stretch, right and left for the quads. Also be a little bit more gentle because of all the squats and the jumpings. We have been giving those quads a lot of volume, a lot of liquid now in those quads. So just grab easily whatever you can, shoelace, sole of the foot or your ankle, and then try to align both knees, both thighs. Keep the thighs parallel, press into your hips, press them forward just as much as you can. You can also be dynamic, releasing here, inhaling, bending from the hip, exhaling, pushing the hips forward, extending, and then slowly release. Bring the foot down, shake it out a bit if you want to, and then have the same on the left side. So grab the left foot, shoelace, or whatever you can, maybe even the back of your pants if you have long pants. Then align those knees, bring the thighs into a parallel position, extend the hips maybe a little bit more forward. This will pull a bit. Don't make it pull too much. We don't want any tears here, tear and wear. And if you want to have a little bit of a dynamic stretch, release, inhale, exhale, push the hips forward, inhale, bend from the hips, and exhale, push forward. Great! Here we go, hot core. I hope you felt the heat, and not only in the core, in the cardio part, but also in the core part. Share this video if you loved it with your loved ones, challenge them, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I see you all very soon. Bye!